No, almost 40% of digital payments are coming out of India, which is quite remarkable.
India has leapfrogged even China on that. So this has not happened without technocrats at the government, including, by the way, people like Nandan Nilekani, who are not part of the BJP, who had earlier fought a ticket on the Congress. So it's a bipartisan effort in that sense, but promoted primarily by the Modi government.
So are you saying the idea of India in 2047 would be of a fully developed country? The Prime Minister in his Independence Day address said that, this is not about India becoming a developing country, but a developed country. But when I look at the numbers, we're way below. Look at per capita income of India, $2,000 odd dollars versus 12,000, which is the global average. So we are way below, and it takes about a decade to double. So we are not going to get anywhere close to what the Prime Minister's definition of a developed country by 2047 would be. My point is...
I disagree on that.
Where do you see us, for example, in 2047?
The per capita income dollar terms actually depends a lot on the currency exchange, which is cyclical. So let's not go into that. But primarily, you have to look at Indian per capita incomes as a percentage of the global average. And we bottomed out, for example, compared to the US, at 1% in the 1990s. We're close to 3-4% right now. And it's very rapidly increasing. So it's like a classic exponential curve. It seems flat until it suddenly goes parabolic. So I would be patient on that. We are consistently having good per capita growth rate. Unlike UPA 1 and UPA 2, there have been a lot of structural reforms done. The GST could not be passed by the UPA government. It was passed by the BJP government for all its warts and all. Similarly,
because of the resistance of the Chief Minister of Gujarat. That's why it wasn't passed by the UPA government.
You were not able to convince him, but he was able to convince your
himself.
Chief Ministers. Why was that? Because he used the Finance Commission for that.
Because where you stand on these matters depends on where you sit.
And how you prioritize it.
When he sat in Racecourse Road, his position changed.
The reason is because he guaranteed 5 years of GST payment to the states, and that's a decision the Congress government refused to take. On GST, on IBC is a massive reform which has totally unblocked our banking system. So these are big structural reforms, slow-moving. They go through our jurisprudence, they set precedent and case. It takes a long time, but it has all happened, and there is a lot of tailwinds. I always say right now the India story as an investor, speaking as an investor right now, it's like a spring that's about to be unleashed. And there's a lot of short-term pain, a lot of long-term gain. And in this case, I'm going to eat my cooking. So, I have massive skin in the game. So we'll find out. My third book is called Long India, and that's what I'm writing about.
Shashi Tharoor, in that sense, and as we sort of wind down, do you believe India will be a better place to live in 2047 than it is today in 2022? I mean, if we ask this question possibly at the dawn of independence in 1947, and you looked 75 years later, you'd probably think the glass is half full and not just half empty. Your sense, do you believe India will be a better place to live in? There are serious challenges on the environmental front. I mentioned income inequalities, which are stark. There are possible north versus south challenges between states that are moving much faster than the rest. Do you believe we will be a better place to live in? And therefore the new idea of India, as you see it, in 2047 will make India a better place to live in?
It could be, but it'll also depend on whether we can preserve social harmony and social peace. In other words, I think on the economic front, we've grown in every respect, every yardstick. Britain left us as a country with 16% literacy, 8% for women, 90% of people below the poverty line, and a life expectancy of 27. We've already come a long way from there. Okay, so your literacy rate is 82%, your life expectancy is 70, your maternal and child health and mortality figures are down. Everything is by and large in a transformative position. Of course, you still have people below the poverty line who frankly have done badly in the last few years, especially since demonetization and the COVID lockdown. But hopefully we can redress those and pull themselves up again. But the bigger question, it seems to me, is we don't want to be a country where you ask the question, are you better off? And the answer comes, well, it depends if you're a Muslim or not. The truth is, we should be a country where everyone is better off. We can be, but you've got to preserve social peace and harmony and get beyond this majoritarian communal bigotry that is poisoning.
So you see